Hi, I'm Jack from Recom Coach Jack here at ZAR Athletica in Newstead. Now in today's video, we're going to look at some shoulder mobility and some activation drills to get you ready for doing like your bench press or shoulder press session. Now, there is so many shoulder mobility drills out there. I can think of about 20 off the top of my head, but I'm going to give you my top 3 picks. The first one is going to be a prone T or a prone Y raise. Now, prone simply just means lying down. So Cody here is going to show us what that looks like. He's going to lay down, chin tucked, arms out to the side. He's going to make like a kind of T shape with his body, with the back of his hands facing upwards. Now, in one of our earlier videos, we looked at thoracic mobility and using the lower traps. This one is going to do something very similar, but a little bit more middle trapezius. And what he's going to do is, keeping his chin tucked in and without arching the spine, he's going to try to like lift his arms straight off the ground by mashing those shoulder blades together. Now, as you can see, Cody is very good at this. He's actually able to hold his hands up quite high and without arching his spine. We want to do this for maybe 8 to 10 reps and hold each one for about a few seconds at a time. We really want to develop the stamina in the upper back to hold those shoulder blades in position. Now, my tight shoulder blade position, like you see here, is going to protect the shoulder girdle and keep it nice and stable when we're doing shoulder presses and overhead presses and bench presses and things like that. So Cody's just going to do a couple more reps. Terrific. Terrific. Now that's enough of that. What we're going to do is we're going to do a stretch. And this is a bit of an awkward one. I like it because the spinal erectors down here, which help with extension of the spine, they do most of the work. They're really hard to stretch. The fibers run horizontally. So we actually need to stretch them by doing some rotational work. So I'm going to get Cody to actually lie down on his side, facing that way. You can do this with pretty minimal equipment. If you don't have access to a foam roller, don't worry about it. Cody's going to bring up, in this position, his top knee at a right angle to his hip and just place his leg on the foam roller for support. And then he's going to straighten the leg that's actually down on the ground, which you can't see behind the foam roller there. So in this position, Cody's going to make sure his torso is nice and straight and actually in line with this leg on the floor. Yep. Bring your knee up a little bit higher. Yep, and make sure you're comfortable. You're going to place that palm on top of that palm and just clap them together gently. In this position, Cody's going to take in a deep breath and brace his abs. He's going to reach forward with his top arm, and then he's going to trace his fingers around the ground in a big circular motion while keeping his eyes on them and rotate his torso. Now, if the muscles on your back are quite tight, naturally, this leg is going to lift off the foam roller. If that leg lifts off the foam roller, that's okay. We're actually using the weight of the leg and the weight of the actual arm to rotate the pelvis and the shoulder girdle 90 degrees from each other. You want to rest once you've reached this position, and then Cody's going to bring his arm actually over the top and back to that other hand. And you want to repeat this for about 5 to 10 repetitions. This is opening up that shoulder and stretching those spinal erectors. Also, if you do experience a little bit of discomfort in the back, you can actually do this to alleviate some of that discomfort. It's actually stretching out the lower back. I wouldn't recommend doing this with weight until you're extremely flexible and need a little bit of additional resistance to pull that knee in front of you and of course pull that arm behind you. If you don't have access to a foam roller, you can simply just leave the knee on the ground. It just might lift up as you do this stretch. It's a lot harder than it looks. Now there's one other drill that we're going to do, which I'm going to show you now. So the third drill we're going to do to get those shoulders activated is called a band pull apart. Very simple exercise. When you're first starting out, you want to use a pretty thin resistance band. Cody's pretty strong, so he's going to use this red one. He's going to place the resistance band in his hands and outstretch his arms like he's bench pressing. He's going to pull the band apart all the way with a locked out elbow and a locked out wrist until the band touches his chest. Now when this happens, we should see his shoulder blades pull together. Now he's going to hold this position. Once the shoulder blades are together, he's going to make sure his arms and wrists are as straight as possible, and he's going to gently bring his arms back out in front of him while trying to keep the shoulder blades together, and then pull them back out again. Once you get better at this, you can progressively use a stronger band, but this is just going to give us a lot more resistance in activating those upper back muscles and just opening up that chest and getting us ready for bench press. You want to do this for about 8 to 10 reps, maybe only once or twice before benching, or even during your warm-ups. Those are my top 3 picks for activating the shoulders and getting them ready for a heavy pressing day. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and for more spicy content, follow me on Instagram at Recom Coach Jack. Thanks.